Okay, so this video is probably one of the most important videos, especially if you're not sure and have never dieted before. I'm going to completely blow your mind in this whole video in terms of understanding nutrition, everything all at once, and understanding how fat loss actually works. So I'm going to drill it into you this video. Listen up, and I promise you after this, you are going to understand so much and realize that you've been lied to for years. Keep it very simple to start, and we're going to get more and more complex, and I'm going to explain through more throughout the video. But you need to realize calories in versus calories out is all that matters for weight loss at the end of the day. Whether you have diabetes, whether you have a disease, whether you can't walk, all that matters is calories in versus calories out. And what do I mean by calories in versus calories out? As you can see from this image, calories in versus calories out is how your weight stays stable, how you lose weight, or how you gain weight. And calories in is the food that you're putting into your body. Calories out is how much your body burns in the day. It's as simple as that. Calories in versus calories out. It's simple maths, and you'll understand by the end of this video. Okay? If you are burning more than you're putting in, you're going to lose weight. If you are eating more than you are burning, you will gain weight. And you'll see why later in this video. I tell you, you can never outtrain a bad diet. I also want to emphasize, no food breaks this rule. You can lose weight eating 10 donuts a day. Okay? It's all about the calories. No food breaks this rule. Okay, now this is going to look a little bit confusing, but you can come back to this after the video once you understand exactly what I meant by it. I just have to explain it to you now like this. I want you to think of calories as money. Okay? You have a specific amount of money you can spend in a day. If you go over that amount, you are getting into debt. If you go under that amount, you are putting some into the savings for the end of the week. And this balance throughout the week determines at the end of the week if you have saved any money, if how much you owe, or if you have maintained. That is the same as fat loss. So you have a specific amount of calories a day. If you eat less, you're going to save calories. And at the end of the week, that equals the amount of weight that you're going to lose. For example, this is the science behind it. 1 kg of fat is 7,700 calories. So 5 kgs of fat is 38,500. So now we're planning here 5 weeks, okay? You want to lose 5 kgs over 5 weeks. That's 38,500 divided by 35 days. You need to be saving $1,100 a day. Okay? Now, say your spending limit or your maintenance calories are $2,800. If you are saving $1,100 per day, you then add your 10,000 steps per day, which is 400 to 500 calories burnt. Okay? Then you just adjust according to that. So the daily deficit needed, like we calculated up here, is $1,100 saved. 450 of those are from steps. You only need to save $650 from food every single day to lose a kg a week. So you calculate that from your daily spending or your maintenance. You subtract that, and then you know you need to spend only $2,150 a day if you want to lose that much weight. Okay, it's going to confuse you right now. Stay with me. Think of it like this. Okay, you get a daily calorie budget. That's your budget of food. That's what I'm saying. Now we've discovered for this random person, for me, for example, it is 2,800. Now that I want to lose a kg a week, I have calculated that it's now $2,100 that I get to spend every single day if I want to lose that much weight. Now that's my daily budget. Every meal I eat is a purchase. If I stay under or equal, then I'm perfectly fine. If I go over, then I'm in debt and I won't be losing weight. That's literally all you need to think about. But I know this is going to be a little bit confusing still. Stay with me. It's going to get way, way better. So now I'm going to explain to you why they add up so fast and how you end up spending more than you even realize. You know when you go into a store and you come out with way more than you ever thought you would spend? This is the same as calories. See in the diagram on the left hand side here, it shows you someone saying I eat such a little bit versus someone saying I eat so much. Okay, this is where the food swaps come in because 1 tablespoon of olive oil is the same calories as a full tub of popcorn or 2 huge bowls of strawberries. So that 1 tablespoon of olive oil you add to your healthy meal is spending $160, which is the same as a big bowl of popcorn that costs $160. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just expensive. You got to think of it like that. It's like buying a small but valuable item. If you spend up your money in a day with those small things, guess what? You're going to be hungry later in the day. So that's why I have these images here. You can lose weight eating hot dogs, eating this, eating donuts, eating ice cream. You can lose weight eating whatever you want because it's all about how much you spend in the day. That is literally all it takes to lose weight. Now, spot the difference in this meal. This is what a lot of people, and you'll see more of this as we go through this video. Okay, these meals are the exact same ingredients, cooked the exact same way. Besides, one of them, the vegetables were steamed. One of them, they were drizzled in oil and then steamed and thrown in the air fryer. Okay, one of them, the fish was baked. The other one, it was fried with oil. That's literally those three things just make it more expensive. Can you see how this goes and adds up throughout your day? You add a few more extra bits and pieces to each of your spending allowances without knowing. It's like taxes. They add up. You're not going to realize them until the weight on the scale is not moving because you're not tracking them. Now, this is going to really help you get an understanding of what I'm saying here. So the goal is not to be eating a little bit of food. You want to find the foods that are cheaper for your cost, that allow you to feel full throughout the day, perform, and go to bed with a full stomach, but still wake up earlier. That's why I always say I want you guys to be eating more and losing weight. There's another example over here. These are the smart foods, only $430. And then the other person saying, I eat a tiny bit. You can eat as little as you want. If it's expensive in terms of calories, or calorie dense is what they call it, you are going to put on weight or you're not going to lose weight. Think of calories as cash, like I said. If you are going to buy something from the store and you pay with a $100 bill versus you paying with $101 bills, which one feels like you spent more? The $1 bills, right? That's the same as in the day. If you want to feel like you've eaten more, you've got to find the lower calorie options so that when you're spending, you are feeling it. If you want to have a bite or something of a cookie, okay, have that bite. But is that going to satisfy you later? No, because you're not going to be full and you're not going to feel like you have eaten a lot, which then gets back to this thing where people think eating a lot is what makes the difference with fat loss. No. Here's another few examples. There's a stomach filled with 500 calories, $500 of oil, cheese, meat, grains and beans, fruits and vegetables. That's why they're known as healthy. They're actually low-calorie foods. Look at strawberries, 600 grams. That is a big bowl of strawberries versus a spoon of oils. That's where people get caught up, okay? You can see someone eating healthy at a restaurant. They order a salad. Guess what? If you don't say, can I have the sauces on the side, those chefs are adding $500 to your salad, and the person next to you eating steak, eggs, and fries are having the same amount of meals or dollars spent in that meal than you did when you're trying to be healthy. Just because of the hidden calories, the hidden expenses, and the taxes that people add for no reason. Like I said, I really want to drill this into you. So I'm going to be going over this again. Someone's saying, I struggle to lose weight. You kind of ask them, what does your day of eating look like? Oh, I eat this. Okay, well, what do you cook it with? What do you add with it? Do you have any drinks? Okay, that coffee that you have in the morning could equal a meal. Here's another example with strawberries. 5 bowls of strawberries. What do you think is going to keep you more full in the day and help you stick to your daily allowance and not blow over it? 5 bowls of strawberries or 2 little tablespoons of canola oil when you cook your eggs in the morning? It's a simple question. Oils, sauces, dressings, they all add up. And yes, you can still use them. But if you're not tracking them, that's where it becomes a problem, and you will ruin your efforts to lose weight without even knowing why. That's why most people stay stuck and confused and wonder why they're not losing weight when they should be. Let me put it into perspective. One little spoon of peanut butter or one handful of nuts, macadamia nuts, any type of nuts. If you've gone for a 20-minute run, 30-minute run, 40-minute run, you've sweated, you've done all you can, you come back and have a little handful of nuts, that's gone. That run only helped you gain. You only got paid about 400 calories for that run. $400. That little handful of nuts or a scoop of peanut butter that's too big, $400 back in the system. That's why you will never be able to out-train a bad diet, and we'll be going over that later in this video. But I really want to drill this into you that everything counts. Everything you put in counts. This is what I was explaining just now. It's the simple truth. Fat loss is very simple. It's not easy, but it's very simple. It's maths. You got to respect your budget, what you're willing to spend that day, and you got to repeat it long enough. This is why if you tried to make a budget that was only allowing you to spend $100 a day, and you knew you couldn't live off that, that's why people fall off their diets. That's why people fail their fat loss phases, because they've made it too extreme. You've got to make your budget perfect so that you can just keep putting away into those savings until it builds up to something greater than you ever thought. Like I said earlier, sweating does not mean fat loss. Okay? Running, all that kind of stuff doesn't cancel eating. You can't outrun your fork. Look at these. 2 slices of pizza is 560 calories. So think of that as $560. You have to ride intentionally for over an hour just to match that. This is not to lose weight. This is just to match that. Look at all these. Pause the video and have a look at them. Now that you've paused and had a look, come back. And this is why people forget that diets, so you know how people will say, I fast and I still can't lose weight, low carb or whatever. It's all about calories in versus calories out. So diets are there to make it easier to stay within your budget. Intermittent fasting. When you have a smaller eating window, you're obviously going to spend less because you got less time to spend. That's the theory behind it. But if people are making the wrong choices with what they spend on and they spend expensively, you can still stay stuck while you're fasting because that small spending time, you're still spending just as much as you would throughout the day. That's why at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference. If you like to spend a little bit of your budget all day, which means spread out meals, that's fine. If you want to have all of them in one huge meal, that's fine. It's all just about how much you spend and how much you save. That's all it is. Here's an example here. I'll zoom back into it. 3 meals a day, in the budget. Fasting, in the budget. Keto, in the budget. These diets all just make it easier to stick to it. For keto, you're wiping out one of the parts of everyone's diet, carbs. So of course, if you only have 2 other things to eat from, fats and protein, you're going to generally eat less, which is why people see results at the start, but because they don't understand why they're losing weight, they never manage to keep it off. Now, a lot of people will say, tracking's annoying. I don't want to look at my food. I don't want to log my food. You need to realize, why do you have a bank account? To track where your money is, how much you're spending, how much you have available. If you're serious about your weight loss goals or anything like that, you need to be aware of what is going on in terms of your bank account. You need to be aware of how much you're spending, how much you're burning. Now, it doesn't have to be a forever thing, because once you realize, same with your budget, once you've gone through your budget a few months and you're sticking to the same budget, you don't have to keep looking at your bank account because you know how much you're saving. You know how much you're spending a day. You have the structure. That goes with tracking. You need to use tracking to learn how much you're spending, the quantities, as well as being aware of the foods that are expensive, that aren't, so that you can make them fit into your day of budgeting, of dieting, and get the results that you want to do. Because tracking just creates awareness. You got to think of it like that. It's not a forever thing. Creates awareness. It reveals the hidden calories, the taxes, and it removes any guesswork. So it shows your real intake. You know exactly how much you're spending in a day. You know exactly how much weight you're going to lose at the end of the week. It makes it so much more effortless. People that say they don't want to because it costs too much time, what costs more time? Tracking your food now for a month and losing 5 pounds, or not tracking your food, maybe losing 2 pounds this month, another 2 pounds in the next month, and then your weight just stays the same. Whereas the other person who tracked their food is down 10 pounds by then and doesn't have to track their food anymore because they understand. Which one is saving time realistically? See, there's always perspective in these. You got to ask yourself the smart questions. Is it worth it? Yes, 100%. Now, I want to go over the mental side of it as well. One day where you overspend on your budget by mistake, it doesn't mean failure. And one day when you save so much money, it doesn't mean you're all of a sudden rich. It's about the weekly average, how much you're putting away every single week, every single month. So don't let one day of blowing your budget stop you from saving money. And don't let one day of saving so much make the next day go, oh, okay, now I can spend it all. No, that's not how it works. You want to look for consistency, and we'll get more on that as well. Just before we get back onto a little bit of consistency, there's the reason why the average counts. You will never outtrain a bad diet. I told you this earlier, but please look at this again. I want you to understand that anyone who thinks that doing those circuits, running, anything like that is going to make them lose weight, it actually makes it harder because cardio makes your body increase its cortisol, which then leads to more cravings later because your body's hungry. But you'll never outtrain a bad diet. Okay, what's more important? Having 2 slices of pizza and then having to go swimming for an hour, running for an hour. What's easier, doing the session or just not picking up the food? You tell me. Now I want to get on to consistency to finish off again. Okay, consistent results and consistent efforts are what are going to get you to your goal no matter what. If you're daily depositing, you are making sure that you're saving that amount of money or that many calories every single day to get to your goal. In the end, you're going to get to your goal. Whereas if you tried to save too much too quick, you're not going to be able to live. Your expenses are going to be too much and you're going to quit. If you go one bad day of overeating and you're like, I messed up today, even a meal. I messed up my meal. Let me just write off today. I'll start again tomorrow. Why would you do that? That money's still going somewhere. Those calories are still going somewhere. All the damage you're doing is still going somewhere. So you want to just readjust, fix it, and get back on track. Consistent is going to win. If you're inconsistent, tomorrow is just harder because now you're further behind. You're starting again. You might have spent way too much because you just said, okay, screw it. And now you just have to make up on lost money or lost calories for no reason. Like I keep saying this money thing, you build your savings by depositing money, then pulling it out for no reason. You don't build it out by saving money all week and then on the weekend going and putting all your savings onto something that was not the item you wanted to buy. Your savings from 1 week, what's going to be better? What's going to make the impact that you want and the value that you want at the end? It's about consistently stacking that savings. So calories are your daily deposits. Now you just want to eat within your target, put your money into your savings every week, and carry on from there. What stops progress is when people be good all week and overspend on the weekends. It's the most consistent one. Or they're putting all of their calories in the bank too fast, all of their money, and they realize, okay, I'm going to need some money for this, this, and this. And then they take them back out, and then it's hard to stay consistent like that because you don't exactly know how much you're saving when, and it bugs a lot of people. So I hope this really makes you realize that it's a choice at the end of every day. That's why I want you to track your food, because that little snack you're having could be a little bit more expensive than you think. And it's just about becoming aware because, like I said at the beginning of the video, it is maths. If your maintenance, like we said, is 2,800 and you want to spend more than that, you are going to put on weight. If you are going to spend less than that, you're going to lose weight. Obviously, it gets more complicated as the weight is being lost, but this video should give you a complete rundown and understanding of the fact that it's all in versus out. Nothing else matters. There's no special foods. All that matters is what you want to make it. So to me, if you could eat more by spending less because you choose the right options, the higher volume foods, okay, you're going to feel full, trick your body into thinking it's eating more than it is. And then that way, you wake up the next day lighter and closer to your goal. But that's what I wanted to chat about this video. There'll be lots more coming. I would like to keep these extremely basic so that you guys don't get confused. Let me know if you have any other questions, and let's keep going. Good luck.